Events with Listings to Leads. And this is our Get Started class for our platform. And it's good that some of you have been here with us for a while and some of you are new and just trying to get your arms around it. And I think it's always good to kind of check in with us. This year in 2022 is going to be a busy year for Scott and I. At this point, we've been doing this for 12 years. We are really, I think, a leader in lead capture, whether it's buyer leads or seller leads, in real estate advertising. I just don't think there's another company that does as many leads as cost effectively as us. And there's no company that creates as many tools as us to capture leads. So I'm going to talk to you today about the high level of how to look at this. I'm going to show you a number of tools that you should use consistently. There are going to be a lot more tools in here than I can have time to explain to you today. Right. But one thing I do want to talk about, in case you're not in here, is you all need to be in our mastermind group. Now, if you use the support page in your account on the bottom left and just say, hey, can you add me to this group? They will add you to it. And I recommend you get in, and because you're going to hear stuff from myself, from Scott, new things that we're doing, new ways to use the platform, but also you're going to hear clients. Like right here is somebody, Pat Motley is somebody just put in something last week that kind of blew us away, that she's using one of our top tools for getting more listings, and it's getting her more listings. And that's kind of awesome, considering right now getting listings in the United States is really difficult. And she's used one of our top others and is still getting results. I want to point this out too. On March 25th, we announced that these are the things we're working on this month, in the month of April. Integration with KV Core, integration with Chime, which is another CRM, Google Ads, Linktree to get the, testimonials from Linktree auto-swept in. Oh, I'm sorry, Linktree is like this thing on Instagram to add links. The testimonial tree is what I was thinking. We're updating our listing presentation, and we're also regarding testimonials. We know that some of you collect testimonials on Google and Yelp, Facebook, but those companies don't have APIs. So we're going to create a way to kind of request them, make it a little more manual to get that in. And then some motion graphic stuff, giving you the ability to make more video content. So this is what's coming down the pike this month. So it will be wise of you to check in with us next month to see what these things look like. They may not all be relevant to you, but I bet a few will be helpful to you. There's also this, which is really what I wanted to say. This call that we're doing right now is being recorded. And every time I do a training, we record it and then we put it here in the mastermind group. And there are 3 calls that we do. This one is just getting started. Another one, which is Facebook advertising, which, as you can see it right there. And then the other call that I do is top ways to get more listings. All 3 of those. Now, we were saying here as we were starting the call before we started, that, some of you are just trying to get your arms around the platform, right? You're just trying to learn everything. And if you don't want to wait for me to, and it's kind of good to be on a live call with me like this, because you can ask questions and I can answer them real time. And then you're also going to hear the latest of what's going on, right? But sometimes you just don't have time. Your schedule doesn't allow to sit and join me when we're doing this live. So you'll see them recorded here as you scroll down. Now, I'm going to point this one. This is Pat. I referenced her earlier. She was telling us just on the 6th that she's talking about the nearby homeowner, is that she sold a condo in a community and put out our nearby homeowner letter and got 3 listings and 4 buyers, right, in the same condo deal. And just last month got another one. So she's been using this thing kind of consistently. And I'm definitely going to point that tool out. If you want more listings in a nearby homeowner letter, it's kind of the top way to do that. So let's get out of here and let's get into listings to leads. And listings to leads, just so you know, in case you do or you don't know, we have tools to help you get buyers. We have tools to help you get sellers, regardless if you have listings or not. Okay. That's the short and sweet of it. So let's get into it and let's talk about, see, I was logged into an office account on here. Just an FYI, we do have team accounts and we do have office accounts if you need that. But I'm going to kind of work in my agent account, which is essentially the same. It's just that you have an umbrella with multiple agent accounts underneath it. That's what those team accounts are about. So there's kind of two sections that you need to be thinking of with listings to leads. And when I say thinking of, what I mean is there are two sections you need to be using consistently, like every week. The listings page and the ads page. Okay, so this is the listings page. I'm going to drive down into it. And then the ads page. And the ads, you can run ads. Today, you can run ads on Facebook and Instagram here, but you will be able to soon run ads on Google right here on this page too. So that's, these are the two main areas. You'll notice that we've got text.br, we got follow-ups, we got social content, we got landing pages, but where you're going to kind of want to live is listings and ads. Okay, that's where you're going to do the bulk of your work. And before I kind of go into it, I'm going to go back to the mastermind group. I'm going to search on one name that I want to kind of Wix, Terry Wix. Before we dig in, I kind of want to give you the why, right? Why would I dig into this? And here, this question came in a couple of summers ago from somebody saying, hey, who here gets 2 listings or more a month strictly from listings to leads, right? So she asked that to the whole group, all of our clients. And you'll notice that a lot of our clients jump in, but I want to point out a couple of things here. This one client says we average 2 listings from each marketed listing, all from L2L tools, Facebook ads, mailers, and open houses. So remember that, because a lot of people want more listings, but they think there's like some sort of one tool that you use and that changes your world. Actually, the Nearby Homeowner Letter is pretty effective as the #1 tool. But if you use a handful of these tools, especially to get listings, you're going to get listings. And we have our clients proving it right now in the mastermind group. Right here, Alicia Pless, and this was a while ago, she said, in 45 days, she's got 2 listings. Alicia, if you look up her name in this group, basically said every time I mail that Nearby Homeowner Letter, I'm getting a listing. And that's pretty awesome. So the reason I drug you back there is just to say, hey, if you use these tools, even if you have listings, you're going to get more listings with, right? Now, let's just go to the listings page and talk about that real quick, because I think one thing is not everybody has listings. Okay. So if you don't have listings, you could still borrow a listing. You can even kind of manually put in a FSBO if you want to present this to a homeowner and go get a FSBO and pull it in here. You're going to get all these marketing tools. If you talk to a colleague in your office, you say, hey, can I borrow your listing? And they say, sure. Go out and get buyers with it. Put the zip code and the MLS ID and say it's not your listing, and we'll pull it up and create a bunch of tools to help you get leads with it. So you'll be able to use the listing side and the ad side, whether you have listings or not. Before we get into that, I want to talk about the setup. Okay, like what do you do and where do you want to set things up? First, I would recommend that you go to the profiles down here on the bottom left. And under preferences, if you have reviews on Zillow, check that box and make sure that that email address is the same. If you want us to do automated posting for you, I recommend you click on this auto posting tab and you connect all your social media accounts here. And this is just one of the smartest things you can do, because when we auto post, I'll show you in a bit, we auto post your listings, we put text there, we put photographs there, it looks good, but we also put landing pages behind it. And when people click on them and they see those landing pages, if they want more information, you're going to capture leads. So it's auto posting with lead capture, and it's free. It's a free part of the service. It's not like running an app. After you connect those things, click on listings and click this button here where it says copy and paste, and that will get this content and it will put it in this box over here, and then just click save. This is dynamic content that shows up on top of all your listings. So there's 2 steps, right? Connect your social media accounts and then click on listings and turn that on. If you've got a CRM, you can connect your, we've got a lot of top APIs here. You can connect your CRM here. And then if you don't see your CRM on this list, usually you have like an email address from like, it's in it, all boss or something. And you can put that in there. Sometimes there's these weird numbers in it, but that means any lead that goes there will be auto dropped into your CRM. So I definitely recommend that because if you're using our tools consistently, you're going to end up with hundreds of leads a month. And if they're just sitting in your mailbox, you're not likely going to convert them. You're going to need some help with drip campaigns, stuff like that. Now, with that being said, if you don't have a CRM, notice that we have this page over here. It says follow-ups. And you could turn on the seller follow-up and you can turn on the buyer lead follow-up, right? Turn them both on. So if you're capturing buyer leads, we know we'll put a drip campaign on. If you've got seller leads, we know we're going to put a different drip campaign on. Okay. So if you don't have a CRM, I would suggest that you turn on follow-ups, both of them. Okay. And if you have a CRM that you have not configured, because, those are kind of difficult to deal with, I would turn this on until you figure it out. Elaine has a question. Do you have to use Zillow for your reviews? Today, yes, you have to use Zillow for our reviews. Elaine, I don't know if you got here late, but I did announce just about 8 minutes ago that we are adding reviews from Testimonial Tree, and we're going to be able to start pulling them from Yelp and Google. That whole list is right here, posted on March 25th in our mastermind group. So I hope that answers your question. So anyway, this is follow-ups. If you don't have your own CRM, definitely turn this on. Okay. So when we were back on the profile, I mentioned that you need to connect social media for auto posting. And that is for free auto post. You also, after you do that, need to come over here to ads. And you need to connect here. Now, I'm already connected, so you can see all my ads. When you come here for the first time, it's going to have one big green button, say connect to Facebook. And you need to connect to Facebook. Okay. And when you click it, it's going to take you to Facebook and it's going to say continue as your name. Right. And at that point, you've got to say yes. And then the next page says, what business pages do you want? You check them all and then click OK and done. And then it brings you back here and you'll have these 3 green buttons to create listing ads, landing page ads, and PDF guide ads. If you have an office or team account and you have a recruiting, you're also going to be able to run recruiting ads here. But just for a standard agent account, you won't be able to do that. Now, so that connects your ad account. And this is where you run paid ads. There's also another tab here that says social. And what social is, it's like social content for your social media networks, but it's not really about your listings. And this is to make sure that you've got content on your things, right? If you don't want to spend a lot of time managing your social media and having new content, you'll notice here that there's a button that says this is posted. I've got this stuff automatically posting, right? And so if you click on it, there's going to be an article and then just kind of soft content, not a lot of lead capture here. It's just showing that you're sort of taking care of your social medias, right? So when you do that, you want to click settings. It'll kind of prompt you through here, connect your social media accounts. It's then going to say, what's your schedule? I have it like twice a week. You can have it every day if you want. And then your topics, and you can have all these topics here. I don't really want all those topics, so I just have a couple: home improvements and garden. But turn that on, and that's a free part of the service. Just putting content, colorful, topical. It's about real estate, and it's good to have. So I see a question here from Leah. What about reviews from Realtor.com? there's going to be a manual place layer where you can put those all the reviews in. It's just these companies don't provide APIs, so we can't auto sweep those things. Zillow does. Okay, so you connected all that. You've set up the social media on your profile. You've got social content. You're ready for ads. Let's now go and talk about listings. And when your listings should auto sweep into your account as soon as you sign up. If you have active listings, not pending and not sold, but if you have active listings and they don't show up in your account, go to support and give them an address and just, hey, you know what, this address is active. Can you check it? We'll go look and see what's going on. But as they show up, they're going to be right here. And when they hit the system, you're going to see a whole lot of tools. We're just going to email a bunch of tools to you. If you've already turned on your social media auto posting, we're going to do that automatically as well. So let's look at this one here. I've got open house. And you see all the tools we create: Facebook ads, social media posts. These are the free posts, e-flyers, nearby homeowner letter, virtual tours, open house toolkit, listing flyer, postcard. So I'm going to click through a few of these. Right here is Facebook. So to run an ad and to get buyer leads, the easiest and cheapest way is just clicking on market listing like I did and clicking create an ad if it's an open house. Now, if you want, you can customize this, right? We're dynamically pulling that information. I showed you where we pull that on the profile. But if you want to add something, like click advanced options and scroll down to where this primary text and add it, right? Because we're just pulling what's on the MLS, and then if we may be missing something like, new granite kitchen or, great schools, right? If you know something that we're not showing, if you type it in the box on the left, it shows up on the box on the right, and you do that before you post. Now, if you see here, my ad is sponsored by Listings to Leads. Your ad is sponsored by your business page. Okay, so we're not running ads, helping you run ads for our brand. We're helping you run ads for your brand. And in case you're not too familiar with this, let me just click on my Facebook newsfeed. Let's see here. Yeah, this is an ad right here. Okay, it's actually our ad. But your ad that you're about to publish, when you click create an ad, it shows up right on the newsfeed. So as people in your target, including the people who are within 15 miles of Berkeley, because that's the settings, it's going to look at the city, auto-populate the city, and we're going to put a minimum radius of 15 miles. You can expand that if you want, right? If you drive further, you think people want to drive further, you can say, hey, I want people 30 miles away to see this home for sale. But then when you click publish, that ad's going to show up right here for the people who live within 15 miles of Berkeley, in that case, Berkeley, right? But when they click on it, this little form pops up, this little, like a chat panel pops up, and it says, submit, would you like this information? And if they say yes, their name and email and phone number is pre-populated by the Facebook profiles. So they have to, in order to get that deeper information, they have to give you their name and email and phone number. That's really pretty powerful, to be getting leads with phone numbers over a 7-day period. Even if you borrowed a listing, it's not even your listing. Now, I will say this, I know because of just the state of the real estate market in the country, working with buyers is tough. There's a lot of competition from other home buyers. You do a lot of work, a lot of driving to help a person buy a home, and it almost feels impossible. So I am going to focus in just a little bit on the tools to get more listings, but to get buyers quickly, this is how you do it. And I will say this as well. There are a lot of buyer leads who actually own homes. So a lot of a lot of realtors say, I don't even want to talk to a buyer, right? I don't even want to talk to buyers because I just focus on it. That's cool, but you'd be surprised how many buyers actually have own a home. And a lot of our tools that we're creating, even for this open house, let me show you. This is a virtual tour for an open house. All right. And it's got, pan and zoom of things there, right? But when you scroll down, it asks, what is your homework? Right? When you keep scrolling down, you're going to see, some brochures, my Zillow reviews. Soon you'll be able to see other reviews. And then it says again, what is your home worth? Now, when the call to action pops up, like, hey, do you want details on this home? If I click continue at Facebook, it's going to ask me this question. Do you own a home? If I say yes, do you need to sell it? Right? So you remember when I showed you in the mastermind group, I said that Dustin had said they get 2 listings for every listing that they have. It's because we're always asking. And we do this, we do this because we know what you know. And just realtors don't apply it, right? Think about it. But the reality is when somebody wakes up in the United States today and wants to sell a home, I'll bet you think they just start calling random realtors out of the computer, off the phone book. They don't. They start researching the markets for weeks and sometimes months. And they go looking at what's for sale. And if you're using our tools and they want to find out about the homes that you're talking about, they're going to have multiple opportunities to find out what their home is worth. And you're going to start finding. So that's just kind of an example of what we're doing. Right? But I do want to say that all these tools here, they're stacked, they're kind of in order of the importance that you need to be using, right? Facebook ads is the number one way of getting buyers. Not the number one way of getting seller leads. I'll show you the number one way in just a moment. But for buyers, super fast, super easy. Social media posts. I don't know if you recall, but I mentioned that we do this for you automatically. So if you turn it on, we'll have a little button right there that you can click on and you can see what it looks like, right? So this is an automated post. It's not going to be by listings to leads. It's going to be by your page on your business pages, right? It's going to be colorful. People click on it. What happens when they click on it? We drive them to this page. You know what happens here, right? I click on continue with Facebook. You've now got my name and email. And I dropped you on this page that we also auto created for you. And there's more details, right? So our social media auto posting, step number 2 is totally free. It's done automatically. It captures leads. The only way it works, people, is if you turn it on. Okay. If you don't turn it on, it ain't going to work. Seller social media. Now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to skip these 2 real quick, because I want to talk about the number one tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. It's the Nearby Homeowner. Earlier today in this call, about 15 minutes ago, I mentioned Pat Motley, who was talking about this letter. And a lot of our clients talk about this letter because it's the number one tool for getting more listings. Okay. Now I'm going to show you ways to get listing leads. This does not generate the most listing. It generates the highest quality listing leads. The caveat is that it's also the most difficult, right? What do you think the easiest way to get a listing lead is? The easiest way is to run it out on Facebook. Okay. It's easy. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a minute. But the quality of that lead is definitely different from the quality of the lead that comes from this. This is a PDF doc. This is like a 1-page piece of paper. You're meant to download it and print it and put it in an envelope or door knock it and get it in your neighborhood, right? This says, hey, I've got an open house from 1 to 4. Go here to this website and go find out about it. Of course, we're going to have some lead capture there. But then it's going to say when that home is sold, that's going to affect your home value. So take this physical piece of paper in your house and go to this website. And now if somebody goes through that, if they take that piece of paper out of an envelope, they take it to their own computer, they type in their address, they put in their email address. That's the only way they're going to get their home value. And you're going to know that's a series of hurdles that somebody had to jump through. That's what makes this the most effective tool of getting listing leads that turn into listing contacts. Now, I will tell you, if you go look in the mastermind group, you will frequently hear people talking about this letter. I've even heard people, I just saw somebody last week say, oh, I used that letter one time. I think it was somebody, it was this thing, Pat Motley said, yeah, I had used this multiple times in one condo community and I got multiple listings. And somebody said, oh, I used that one time and it didn't work. I guess I better use it again. Consistency is always helpful in anything that you want to work, right? Whether it's business or playing tennis or whatever, right? It's like consistency and practice. I will tell you this letter, and I think Pat does it herself. Our clients often, the people who want listings, they use it twice per listing, right? They use it like just listed and then again, just sold. They use it open house and just sold. You just listed and open house, whatever. It actually doesn't matter because they are all the letters, whatever the status of the home, it's always going to say that affects your home value, right? And so I've even got examples in the mastermind group of some lady door knocking that letter for 7 hours and pulling 4 listings in a 7-hour walk, right? That's a lot of walking and talking. And that was actually pre-COVID. So I know, that was a factor. But even pre-COVID, nobody wants to answer the door if they don't know you, right? So you leave the letter behind and you'd be surprised. Got plenty of examples saying, yeah, by the time I got back to my car, I had listing leads, right? So that is the number one tool. And I got a question here from Leah. Can you use a listing that has been sold by another realtor within your company if you aren't using the selling? Yes. And that's what I was saying earlier. So if I go to the listings page, you might, and this is definitely true. So Leah's asking a question that totally works. If you got like a farm market, right? You got an area where you want to work or you want listings, but you don't have any listings. And so if Leah's in an office and one of her colleagues sells a home in that neighborhood, you would have to do this. I mean, you could probably ask, the broker or the office manager, because everybody has different rules on how you market. But if it's sold, you're going to have to do it manually. So if I click manual and I change this to sold, right? And you could say just sold selling agent. So you're not actually saying you're listing. And then you put in your headlines. You're just putting these data points. It's not like the MLS. It's just fill in that and put in a couple of pictures. And then all the tools that I'm showing you are going to be there, right? So again, the number one tool for more listings is the Nearby Google. Now, if you have your own listings, one, I recommend that you start to understand our listing presentation, which is on the dashboard. But you should be telling people that you have a strong social media game. If you're our client, you should definitely tell them that. You don't have to tell them that we're doing it all for you automatically, but you do need to say, hey, I do a lot to market. I create virtual tours, single property websites, listing landing pages. I put it on all kinds of social media. And I even have tools for you, homeowner, on your social media, because we're going to do everything we can to get more offers. And look at what we do when it's an open house, right? It says, hey, we're having an open house and you, Leah, at your office are doing a lot of great marketing. Expect a great turnout. Now, if I click on that, now this is a tool that we're going to send to each of you at any status. You're meant to forward it to your client, wipe out everything they don't need and just leave what they need and call them for 5 seconds and say, hey, I just sent you something. I know you get 100 emails a day. Would you just copy and put that on your Facebook wall so you have more people see that? If anybody clicks on it, you know what's going to happen. It's going to take them someplace where there's information and we're going to capture contact info. But more importantly for you, these leads are something more like referrals, right? These are the leads coming from the sphere of influence of your homeowners. of your current clients, who do you think they're communicating with on Facebook? Their friends, their family, and their colleagues, right? These are the same people that you're hoping to get, referrals from. So if you use this tool when it's just listed, you use this tool again when it's open house, let me show you what it looks like when you sold the home, right? So there's this tool, this home is sold. This is for the seller's social media. It says, hey, our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job. Here is your phone number and email in front of, on my Facebook wall for all my friends and family to see forever. This is not a paid ad that expires in 7 days. This just stays there. And we've had clients reach out to us months after they use this tool saying, I'm getting listings from that thing that's like been out there for 4 months. So I would definitely use that because it doesn't generate a lot of leads at all, but it generates high quality listings. Now there's an e-flyer for the same thing. It's for the seller, for the homeowner. You can use it if you want. I actually think that the social media works a lot better. The nearby homeowner letter, you already know, is a #1 tool for getting more listings. And there's an e-flyer for your database. So this kind of looks like the print flyer. It's just in an e-flyer form, right? It's in an electronic form. Home is sold. That's going to affect your home value. You get that, right? So you can copy this and blast it out in your own CRM. So if you're an agent with hundreds or thousands of leads in your CRM, you want to be using this like once a week. Okay. There are single property websites. I recommend you just share these. I recommend that you share the virtual tours. We don't do this all for you automatically because we do one thing for you. But if you want people to see all the tools that you create, and just all of these tools, single property website and the virtual tour, have multiple hooks for lead capture. I would use Save the Open House. We're going to give you a whole stack of tools for the open house. If you like postcards and door hangers, you will quickly notice that on the back of every postcard, it's going to say that affected your home value. So if you're doing just listed or just sold, there's definitely listing, call to actions. And I'll say this about just kind of like a high level, like, to me, I talk to realtors every day. It sure seems like people are starting to understand like the easy days have just passed us, right? I'm not trying to sound like a down, but you're going to have to get back to some old root stuff in real estate. One of those old core roots is working your farm, right? And what farming means is typically print. There are different ways to hit the farm, but print is a big part. And what I want to say is, we've been doing this for 12 years. I've been talking to realtors for 12 years. And when they do print, and I asked about ROI, their eyes just cross because there is no ROI, right? Because typically, I don't know what companies you guys are from, but I'm sure you're from, maybe some big brand and national franchises, or maybe you're from some small independent shops. You've all probably got postcards and you used them in the past, and they're great because they're full color and there's your picture and there's your phone number for people to call you, but nobody really wants to call realtors. That's not like the finest thing, right? So you don't have an ROI because you don't know like if anything's going. But on ours, our clients quickly can tell, like, hey, I'm getting leads at those websites that you're installing. And that's how you start to measure ROI, right? We have sign writers. We have our own text service. So if you want short codes and stuff like that, like text this number to that, you can do that. These are examples that you can download. You can send them to our partner. I think it's Dirt Sheet Signs. They know how to print our stuff, but you might have your own local printers. We've got QR codes and here. What I want to say, because QR codes are really top of mind for realtors these days. And that's because of COVID, right? Ever since COVID, if you had to go into a restaurant, they wouldn't hand you a menu and they give you this little weird thing and you scan it with your phone. You're like, oh, that's cool. we had COVID codes, we had QR codes at least 10 years ago. And I can tell you this, from not only our analysis, but also all analysis across all the industries regarding the internet, nobody uses QR. Like if they use it once, they never use it again. Now it's a different world because COVID really taught us like, oh, these are kind of cool. But what I want you to know, you realtors, is when somebody scans a QR code, we're not delivering their phone number to you. Okay. And that's an important fact. What we're doing is we're sending them to a tool like a single property website or a landing page. And from there, if they respond on that on their phone, well, we can capture the lead, send it to you there. Okay. But the QR code is not capturing the lead. On the other side of the coin, the text message, if you're using our text service, it captures the phone number right there. When they want that instant information on that open house or that sold property or instant information on what is their own worth, you get that contact information, you know the address they're talking about, and you get their phone number. It's a great time to start texting. Like, hey, I saw you got that. You know, do you need help? Like that text. If you do not know this, guys, when it gets into converting leads, texting is the best way. Calling them immediately is not the best way because they're not comfortable. They don't know who you are. They don't really want to be taking random phone calls. But if you text and say, hey, I just saw that you were looking, can I offer some service? Is there anything else? Right. Not the hard close in the first 30 minutes. Right. I mean, you need to reach out. You need to tell them you're busy and you're working, but you're there to help them. And text is awesome. If you're not using our text, you can sign up for it over here on Text IBR. And you get unique codes. You can print them on sign writers. You can reassign them after you sold the property. All that, right? So I see a question here. Let's take that question. What about QR codes? Leah, I just spoke about QR codes. Any more questions about that? So I think we kind of covered everything on listings. I think we kind of covered everything there. Let's talk about ads. And before, I'm going to just suggest this to you. If you're writing anything down from this call, it would be this. You should each, got it. You should each be running 2 ads a week on Facebook if you're going to be in real estate. Okay. And I'm going to show you the kinds of ads that you should run. You should every week run an ad on a listing. Here's how we easy this. You click create a listing ad, and any listing in your account, whether sold or for sale, I'm going to do open house. This is how fast it is to create an ad. It's going to be sponsored by your page, and all you got to do is click publish. Now you can customize it. If you want to customize it, and that's some jazz. Great. This right here, what I've done, which would take me 5 seconds, gets a lot of buyer leads. Now, if you want listing leads, market a home when it's sold. Let's try that. Same thing, leave it on lead ads. We're going to get name, email, and phone number. And it says, hey, that home is sold. That's going to affect your home value. For some of you in the US, running an ad just like this was going to get you listings. For others of you, it's not. And that kind of depends on the competition. Okay. And also, I mean, it's just getting harder and harder to get listings. But let me just show you what you want to do if you want to do this kind of ad. You want to click advanced options. You want to get to that primary text. This primary text is the text that shows on the ad. And when you're selling homes, one thing that's been happening is that they sell really fast. Like I hear some crazy stuff in contract in 48 hours, right? Like that literally is happening. Sold 15K above asking, right? 10 offers. What I'm writing here is let me just finish writing it, 9 qualified buyers. So, you guys are pros, you're professionals, you're realtors, right? So selling homes for you is like, that's your business, right? You know, it's not like freaking you out. But for the average citizen, selling a home, it's right up there with root canals, right? It's no fun. It's a lot of pressure. And it's, you're going to have to move all this crazy stuff. So if you have some value, like you can sell it quickly or you can get top dollar, people are more likely going to respond to your ads, right? So you want to think about that when you're writing that ad, that this stuff here, because it's funny. I talk to realtors and they'll go, oh yeah, I can't use your system because I don't have anything to use. I just sold my last listing. I sold it in 2 days. I'm like, oh my God, do you want more listings? You need to run that ad, right? You could also, let me just show you, like this stuff here that I typed here, you could copy this. You could go over to the listing side, and you remember that nearby homeowner letter? You could paste that language before you download this. You can replace this text with that other text that we had from the ad. And that's like, again, compelling information. So definitely, you want to be thinking, if you want more listings, you want to be running sold listings. And on that, I want to tell you something else related to ads. So we just recently analyzed the last $500,000 spent by our clients on Facebook, right? Because I don't know, we got thousands of clients running ads. And we can see like, okay, well, what's going on? Some are doing buyers and some are doing sellers. So we can actually see what is the cost per lead, right? And I want you guys to understand this. Sold ads get the cheapest seller leads, leave it on lead ads, from Facebook. Okay. So if you want to run ads to get listing leads, the cheapest way to get them is to run sold ads. Facebook charges a click per lead, right? A price per lead. So you should know that, right? What you should also know is the next most expensive listing lead from Facebook is the PDF guide app. If you click on PDF guides here, there are over 25 PDF reports, all for homeowners, right? You say, oh, I want to do divorce in real estate. Every once in a while, people get a divorce in this country. So you could type in, I don't know, maybe somebody's getting divorced in Miami. You run that ad and say, oh, I'll do a 30-mile radius because maybe out there, Fort Lauderdale, somebody's getting divorced there too. Publish. This lead costs around $12. The leads from the sold ads, just sold, are closer, I think we were seeing it $3 and $5, but these are $12 leads. Okay. About on average around the country. And as you can see, there are multiple reports. Now, if you download these reports, you can download them right here. You're going to see that you are on every page of every report. So it's all about your branding. We've written these in-house. It's high level. It's current information about what's going on. And you should be running, in my opinion, one PDF guide every week, right? One PDF guide. If you want buyers, you can do that as well, right? I did mention earlier that the easiest way to get buyer leads is to market a listing. But what I was saying, and when we talk about ad, is you should run one listing ad every week and either one PDF guide ad or one landing page. Now, I'm going to click on this and back to the story of the cost per lead. This create a home value ad is the most expensive lead for listing leads from Facebook. And I want to have a sip of coffee and I want you to kind of think about that, right? Just sold ads gets the cheapest seller leads, PDF guides more expensive, and sold ads, just like we're looking at right here, are the most expensive from Facebook. Okay. I also want to talk one more thing about this kind of ad. It's actually not very effective at all. It's something that's been used by realtors for many years, so it's fairly washed out. And not only that, Facebook has gotten into some trouble, and so you can't target the way you used to. So if you can't target, That's another reason why this ad is not very effective. And these leads are the most expensive that Facebook is selling. Okay. Those are 3 ways of generating seller leads from Facebook. I recommend every agent is running 2 ads a week on Facebook. Okay. Any questions about ads right now? You'll notice that my ads are here. Your ads will sit here. And if you want, you can turn them on and off right here. There is some more advanced things, but I don't think I'm going to go into the advanced stuff here because it's getting started. I kind of want to tie this up and then and kind of give you, I really think we need kind of a cheat sheet here. When you're thinking about buyers, what I want you to kind of somehow get in your mind is you need to be running listing ads once a week and PDF guides ads once a week. On the listing side, you need to have our social media auto posting turned on so that we're auto posting your listings. And you do that on the profile, like I said at the beginning of the call. You need to use the seller's social media tool. You need to use the Nearby Homeowner tool, and you need to use the eFlyer for your database. Now, if you're an agent with no CRM, no database, and maybe less than 100 leads, you don't need to hit this every week, right? But if you're somebody with hundreds or thousands of leads, this is a really valuable tool to help you reactivate those listings. Now, Single Property website, virtual tour, open house, all this stuff. Yeah, you can use it. It's good. But these things I just showed you just now in the last 60 seconds, they get a lot of business, right? These are, in a sense, like you can think of them like a fishing pole, right? If you're out in a deep sea fishing and you got 1 pole in the water, you can kind of make an assumption of how many fish you're going to catch. If you got 5 poles in the water, you can probably increase that assumption, right? Similarly, all these tools capture leads. Even if you're a blogger. Now, I'm not really into blogging, but if you're into blogging, every one of these blog posts has it has lead capture on, right? Sign writers, you know what's all about lead capture. We looked at it. QR codes are cool, but I can't capture any leads and deliver them to you. It will drive you to a page where it can capture leads. So use it when you think you want to use it. But that's it, right? There are a lot of tabs here and they do a lot of fun things. But if you get these tools that I just shown you and you get those ads out consistently, even in this crazy market, your business is going to grow. Okay. So any questions about what I've been talking about today? I don't see any. I will remind you, we have team accounts. We have office accounts. They're really discounted. Otherwise, it's $60 a month, month to month. You can cancel anytime. I didn't mention landing pages, but I will talk about landing pages. But I want to be clear about that because realtors use this term all the time, and it can mean multiple things depending on who you're talking. For us, a landing page is like a 1 or 2 page website, and all it's doing is capturing leads. It's talking about one thing. Maybe it's a home for sale. Maybe it's an open house. In this case, it's some new construction. Okay. So that, you might want to have, like, this is a new construction landing page. You can create your own landing page. You can actually create unlimited landing pages. Sorry. New construction. Where is that? Oh, it's funny. So you'd need to create a custom buyer landing page. And that's what I wanted to bring us to. Let me see boundary hooks. So when we're talking about getting buyers, you remember how I said the number one way to get buyers is to market a listing. And then I showed you all the PDF report ads that you can run for buyers. those PDF reports do not work as well as a listing because, as you know, finding a home to buy is tough. Okay. So some realtors feel like I'm going to go create a custom buyer landing page for homes for sale in my town. That is not really effective at all. And that's because most people understand that they can go find a list of homes for sale in their town on the internet in about 5 seconds with a very simple search, right? Lafayette homes for sale. But if you've got a particular kind of home, like a golf course home, or maybe a particular development, or maybe waterfront or lakefront homes, or maybe, what do you call those? Kind of ranches, horse kind of thing, ranch kind of homes. If you got like a unique niche, well, you might want to create a custom buyer landing page, just like I'm doing right now. And you type in the name of the town or whatever, and you click create landing page. And it's going to, this is what you do for buyers, right? If you're having like, I don't know, first time home buyer deal or whatever. Now, the language that we put here is just boilerplate. I think you can just customize it, right? And you customize it over here, right? And there you go. Once you've got it, wait, then you can even run an ad and drive people to it, right? Or you can use it in a print campaign or whatever you want. Okay. Now, there's another landing page that's actually really important. It's called the Property Valuation Plus. This is where you get your instant home values. And I do want to point this out because this is the top way to get listings. You want these, kind of at a development level. This is a neighborhood. Release Valley is a neighborhood of my town. Really special neighborhood. If you've got a particular place where you want to grow a business, you need a home value page for that area. And then once you've created that landing page, you go over to the advanced options on the top and go to the print marketing. And there's a letter there that talks about the home sales in that neighborhood, right? In that development. And if you want more listings, this is a great tool to use because it says, hey, you put your own data points here, right? Like 50 homes sold in the valley. The high was here, blah, blah, blah. A couple lines, keep it on one page. And it's going to say that affected your home value. So go here to get your free home value. You know what that's all, right? So that's kind of the story. That's a great tool to use if you're into getting more listings. What about moving to my area? Yeah, you could do that. Okay. You can create moving to my area landing. No doubt. There's no problem with it. Leah asked me a question about custom and lookalike audiences. And so I'm going to jump into that. That is kind of next level. It's kind of advanced. But since we still have a lot of people hanging out here, I'm going to chat about it. I usually talk about this when we're talking in our Facebook class. But it is so powerful that you actually need to hear about it. And you're probably going to need to hear about it a couple times. So let's kind of jump into it now, right? When you go to ads over here, the first thing you see when you come to this page, it doesn't look like this. There's one green button that says connect to Facebook. And you connect, you click it, it shows your name, you say yes. And then it says what business pages, and you say these, and then you click okay and done. And then it brings you back here and these 3 green buttons on the top. Okay. But underneath it, you see where there's this green bar and it says last thing to Facebook 48 minutes ago. There will be a yellow bar like this, and it'll say accept a custom audience terms. So I want you to click on that link and it'll take you to Facebook. There'll be one big button on the top that says accept. Click accept, and then come back to this page and refresh it. And now that button is going to say turn on retargeting. So custom audiences is related to retargeting. And now let me explain to you what that is about. I'm going to do a PDF guide for homeowners on the 5 dangers of overpricing. And I can say I want it to show within 15 miles of Lafayette, right? That's where I live. So that's my core area. Yeah, what's the problem there? And cool. All I have to do is click publish. But if I click retarget, let me show you what, if I type in L to L, I can say, oh, I want to retarget my old leads. Okay. So when you turn on custom audiences and you turn on retargeting, it tells us, Listings to Leads, to create a file in your private account on Facebook that's called L to L buyer and seller links. And when that account gets over 1,000 leads, you'll be able to type it into this box right here and retarget your leads. This gets into the concept of conversion. All right. Converting a lead. I know that realtors feel like, hey, I captured a lead today and I called them today and I call them tomorrow and they don't respond. So that's a crap lead. That's actually not realistic at all, but that is how many realtors think. And you need to realize like a lead, an online lead needs to be touched like multiple times, 5 times, 7 times, 10 times. I don't know how many times. But when you run an ad and you retarget like we are doing right here, it's always sponsored by your business page, Rockstar Realtor, or whatever that is, right? So they're seeing like, oh, you've got information on homeowners, you got information for home buyers, you sold homes. Anytime you run an ad on just listed or an open house or just sold, you retarget your old list. That's how you do, that's what you do with retargeting. Let me ask a question, since we still got a lot of people on the call. Who here has over 1,000 leads in their own database, in their own CRM? Just yes. If you have that many leads, let me know. And I'm going to wait a moment for the answer there. And I'm going to tell you that if you're using our tools and you're using all the tools that I said, use these, these core tools for like, 6 months, you will have over 1,000. If you're running 8 ads a month, which is 2 ads a week, which is what I said earlier, you're going to have over 1,000 leads in 6 months. If you're using our print flyer for Nearby Home Loaders and you're using our single property websites, you're just going to capture more and more leads. If you've got our social media auto posting, you're going to capture more leads. Okay. But all that being said, now nobody's answered that question, so maybe everybody's asleep now. I'll tell you this and then I'm going to just wrap it up. On the ad section, there are a lot of agents who actually have been paying great companies like Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com or whoever for leads, right? Like paying hundreds of dollars a month for leads. I'll answer your question a minute later. They've got 1,000, 2,000 leads sitting around collecting electronic dust. You can create the audience right here, upload it, call it My Dusty Leads, and then you can retarget those old leads. I probably at least once a week get calls from people who have been paying Zillow and Realtor.com thousands of dollars and are not happy with what's going on, right? Like, hey, take those leads, clump them together with everybody inside your CRM database, put them in one Excel spreadsheet and put them in here, and then run your ads and just stay on top of those people. This is how you convert leads. That's what a drip campaign is doing. It's sending emails out, right? It's every once in a while, every week or whatever your time frame is. So Leah, if you don't have that many leads, you don't need to worry about it, right? When you create the leads inside of when you turn on custom audiences and you turn on retargeting, as you are working with us, we're going to put every new lead automatically there. Even if you use like a print flyer, wherever you capture the lead, we're going to add them to your Facebook audience. So you'll be able to use them when you get to that point. Now, I'll just tell you this and then wrap it up. If you sign up and you forget about everything I've said today and you don't bother to watch any of the other training calls, This is not going to be generating hundreds of leads a month for you. It's just, I wish I could. We'd charge you a whole heck of a lot more if you do that. But if you do the things that I've shown you here, yeah, you'll generate hundreds of leads a month. And those leads, if you connect them to your social media account, we'll put them in an audience, you can retarget them, all awesome, right? The system works, but the trick is you got to use the tools. If you don't use them, you're just paying us $60 a month, and we appreciate that. But that's actually, I don't think we appreciate it as much as hearing from you guys like, oh my God, I'm using your stuff and this is awesome, right? We like that. So that's my story for today's, everybody. Keep safe out there. Get on our other calls. Use our tools. We've got a great support team. They'll help you anytime you get stuck. Thank you, Jim. This call is being recorded. I'm going to have it in the mastermind group. Probably tomorrow. We're doing some advanced audio work to make this a little slicker. So this will be in the call tomorrow. But don't forget, if you go in the mastermind group, you're going to see all of our recorded webinars. And I recommend, honestly, that you check out the latest videos from this year, because I've done a lot of training. I do training every week, and every time we get, every time we get it, every time we do a call, it's up here. So Leah had another question. What does the Excel spreadsheet look like? So when you do that custom audience, so let us remind. So if we go to ads and we say create an audience, it says use this format. That's showing you what your Excel spreadsheet should look like. Email, number, first name, last. That's it. And I will tell you this, if you're able to get, a list up here, you definitely should. Okay, everybody, take care. See you soon. Let us know how we can help you. And if you need a team account or office account, reach out to me, Vince@listingsolutions.com. Take it easy.